What's good, everyone? Night Cage here. Welcome back to our campaign. So, for those of you that hadn't been following along in the campaign, I'm going to take a minute or so just to kind of get you caught up. Where we currently are, Angron has arrived on Hoth. So, the situation is really bad for the Imperium at this point. So the chapter master right now, Gabriel Seth, who is the chief master for the loyalists, has called in his war council to consult on the situation and to receive reports with what's going on, to kind of strategize about the whole situation. Now, the way that this thing is going is this thing is in the same star system. So there are two planets. There's Hoth, and then there is Vesper Prime. Vesper Prime is a planet that is right next to Hoth. So they're both orbiting the same sun. And the Demon Primarch Mortorian and his Death Guard are on Vesper Prime. Angron and his chosen sons are on Hoth. And both of the Demon Primarchs are seeking the seats of power associated with their patron god. Angron's looking for the seat of power for Khorne, which is a crystal that will basically, it will open the warp, keep the warp stable, and allow all of Khorne's forces to pour out of the warp without any risk of it being able to close. So, nasty thing. Same thing for Nurgle. Same thing. The Demon Primarch Mortorian is after Nurgle's seat of power. Now, in our story, there are actually 5 great seats of power. There are actually 5 power crystals, each one dedicated to its own patron god, including the Emperor. The Emperor has his own seat. These seats of power were lost during the Age of Strife, and scattered across the galaxy to be lost and never heard of again. It was the Emperor's way of keeping the truth from his legions during the Great Crusades. So now it turns out that the Angron's War Council and Mortorian's War Council have been seeking their patron god's great seat of power. They've found them on these 2 planets. So this is how the campaign began. In my case, the Inquisition has known about it. And of course, the Inquisition always keeps secrets. So this thing has been kept secret. Other than the Holy Orders of the Sisters Militant, the Sisters Sororitas, and the Ordo Malleus and the Inquisition, they all know about these seats of power, and they protect them at all costs. So at the beginning of the Hoth campaign, the Inquisitor Lord Vespa, was searching for the seat of power. Now each seat has an associated key that you need to unlock that power. The Inquisitor was on Hoth trying to find the key to the first seat. Of course, for her own selfish reasons, she wanted to use the seat to attain great power for herself. And as a result, she ended up getting corrupted and ended up turning into a demon, being possessed and becoming a demon. And as a result, the chapter master, Gabriel Seth, ended up having to put her down. And of course, this thing has now spiraled out of control because the power fell to Chaos's hands. And the demon, the Chaos Lord Gardrak, got his hands on both keys for Nurgle and Khorne, and he used those to unlock one of the seats to allow Angron access to Hoth, and now Angron is on Hoth. Meanwhile, on Vesper Prime, the Chaos Forces of the Death Guard have just found the location to the seat of Nurgle, to the key of Nurgle, and so they are in the process right now of seeking to take that key. And the Ultramarines, the Space Wolves, the Dark Angels, and the Sister Sororitas on Vesper Prime are trying to stop Mortorian's forces from attaining that key. Once that happens, the two collaborative powers, Angron and Mortorian's forces, will come together and they will unleash a demonic incursion in this galaxy that will make Abaddon's 13th Black Crusade look like a puppy dog show. So the Imperium is going to be in a lot of trouble. So all of these forces are coming together. So on the Loyalist side now, what you have is you have the Flesh Terrors, you have the Ultramarines, you have the Grey Knights, you have the Sisters of Battle, you have the Imperial Guard, you have the Space Wolves, the Dark Angels, all coming together to fight against Angron and Mortorian. That's where we currently are with the story. Here is the War Council that Gabriel Seth is in charge of. And to his surprise, with the arrival of Angron, right before the meeting starts, as Brother Lieutenant Locks here is getting ready to start explaining to Gabriel Seth what goes on, to Gabriel Seth's surprise, guess who walks in the door? Yes, Draigo, the Grandmaster of the Grey Knights Order. Draigo enters the chamber as the meeting begins. The chapter master understands that Draigo's here for one reason. He's here to deal with Angron. And as the chapter master begins the conference with his lords, he recognizes that Draigo is here for that purpose. So, Chapter Master Gabriel Seth calls the meeting into order. He first introduces his captains. Brothers, allow me to introduce the first captain, Leonardus. My second captain, Maximus. Third captain, Thaddeus. My chief chaplain, Carnarvon. And my fourth captain, Cassigen. The council is now called to order. And just as the chapter master begins, he turns to Talia, the canoness of the Sisters Errant, whose forces have been severely depleted, to fill everyone in on the current situation. The canoness knew the situation was grim. My lords, our situation is dire indeed. The arrival of the Demon Primarch heralds the death of this world. We have to make a final stand. Draigo cuts in. My lady, worry not about the demons. I will handle Angron myself. Keep your focus on Hoth. Chapter Master Seth simply turns to Lord Draigo and gives him a nod. He knew that Draigo would deal with the demons. The Chapter Master says, agreed, brother. We are in agreement. The Demon Primarch Angron and his demons will be left to the Grey Knights. Our focus has to be on attaining that seat of power and destroying those keys before any more instability in the system can be created. Reports. Brother Lieutenant Locks stepped in. My lords, I've seen what the Demon Primarch can do. This situation is bad, but the Grey Knight Order will take care of the demon infestation. Just at that point, the second company captain Maximus stepped in. I call to order, my lords, that we do a surgical strike on the city. We take the city back. We launch our attacks from orbit. And we destroy this place. We raze this place to the ground. Thaddeus turns to his brother, the third company captain, and says, Brother, you will have us do damage to this world? That is just what Angron wants. No, brother. We need to take the city back. And we need to do it methodically. The chapter master steps in. Agreed. We will launch a strike on the city. We will use all force necessary to take the city back and capture those keys. He turns to the Lord Adjudicator, the first company captain, Austin Leonardus. Captain, you will lead the first company into the city, and you will take the city back. Use all resources available. Leonardus simply gives his chapter master a nod. Then Lord Draigo steps in. Then it is agreed. I will accompany the first captain with a host of my Grey Knights. You are to stay out of my way, brother captain. You handle the situation in the city and leave the demons in Angron to us. The brother captain just simply nods his head. The chapter master then turns. Meeting adjourned. The Emperor protects. Everybody responded. The Emperor protects. And the meeting was closed.